Hello, and welcome back to traditional Japanese Mahjong known as Riichi Mahjong. This is the third video of our beginner series that builds on the lessons learned in the previous beginner videos. It is strongly recommended that you watch the previous videos and play a couple of practice games for yourself before proceeding with the current video, as this video deals with the rules that can be difficult to grasp without the foundational support of the previous videos. In our first video, we taught you how to win games by building a hand and declaring reach. In the second video, we went over the concept of Yaku hand patterns and how to score a game. In this video, we will go over the concept of call actions, turn actions, quads, and how to steal your opponent's tile outside of Roan. I bet many of you are wondering right now, oh, I can steal opponents' tiles? That sounds like an extremely useful thing to know, Mr. Mahjong. Why did you wait until now to teach this to me? Well, I bet you're dying to know why, and don't worry, I'll explain it to you after I teach you the exciting power of stealing tiles. If you remember in our first video, I mentioned that we were ignoring the concepts of Chi, PON, and Kan. These are known as call actions. I think you're ready now to understand how these actions work, so I'll just get right into it. During your opponent's turns, you may be able to steal the tile they discard using a call action. The first call action is called Chi, which means sequence. If the player on your left discards a tile that can complete one of your 3-digit sequences, you can immediately declare Chi and steal their tile. There is an order of operations you have to follow when resolving a call action. First, decide which 2 tiles from your hand you want to make a meld with your opponent's discarded tile. Next, reveal those 2 tiles from your hand and set it aside for everyone to see. Then, take the tile from your opponent and add it to your meld sideways. After that, you will orient the sideways tile either left, middle, or right side of the meld to signify which player you took the tile from. A sideways tile on the left means that you took the tile from the player on your left. If it's in the center, that means you took the tile from the player across from you, and if it's on the right, that means that you took the tile from the player to your right. Once you have completed all these steps, you have successfully stolen a tile from your opponent. The meld is now locked and can no longer be changed. After making your call action, you will discard a tile from your hand, and then the play will now continue from the player who made the call action. The next call action you can make is called PON, which means triplet. While you can only steal tiles from the player on your left to make a sequence meld, if any player discards a tile that you need to complete a triplet meld, you can declare PON and steal that tile. Follow the same order of operations to complete a PON action. The last call action you can make is called Kan, which means quads. Just like PON, if you have a triplet meld in your hand and any player discards the 4th copy of your triplet meld, you can also steal that tile to make a quad, following the same order of operations. However, we're going to need to take a slight detour now to fully explain quads. Normally, a complete hand consists of 4 melds and 1 pair, and a meld consists of either a 3-digit sequence or a triplet. So where do quads fit into all this? Well, for the purposes of making a hand, you will treat a quad as if it were a triplet meld. Think of quads as just triplet melds, but with extra steps. What are these extra steps, you must be wondering? Well, I'm glad you asked. Here is a visual representation of the dead wall. If you remember, it holds 14 tiles that are not normally drawn from throughout the course of the game. It also holds the Dora indicator tiles. But what if you could draw from these tiles somehow? Well, guess what? Now you can with the power of Kan. Whenever you declare Kan, you'll need to follow some additional steps immediately during the order of operations, but before discarding a tile for your turn. First, you will draw an additional tile from the dead wall to add to your hand. This is a free tile that you get when declaring Khan that ensures you will continue to have enough tiles in your hand to make 4 melds and 1 pair. You will draw this tile from the stacks before the Dora indicator. The dead wall, however, must always contain 14 tiles. So after drawing your tile, 1 tile from the end of the wall is added to the end of the dead wall. So there is now 1 less tile to draw from the wall throughout the course of the game. Then, discard your tile like normal to end your turn. Finally, flip over the next tile adjacent to the Dora indicator after you have discarded a tile for your turn. This tile is now an additional Dora indicator, adding more potential Dora tiles to the current game. If you were wondering how to get additional Dora indicators from the previous video, this is how you do it, by declaring Khan. A maximum of 4 Khans total per round can be declared among the 4 players combined, and up to 4 additional Dora indicator tiles can get flipped face up by a Khan declaration. So check it out so far. We've declared Chi, PON, and Khan. We are in Tenpai. I bet the next step is to declare Riichi, right? Well, that's where you're wrong, kiddo. If you take any call action and steal a tile from your opponent, then everything that I taught you over the last 2 videos, well, throw it out the window. You cannot declare victory with any of these Yaku, including Riichi, if you perform a call action. And once you've performed a call action, you are now forced to play what is called an open hand. Open hands follow a completely different set of Yaku hand patterns that you need in order to declare victory. All the Yaku hand patterns you've learned up to this point are known as closed hand patterns and are no longer valid once you've performed a call action. This is why we wait to introduce call actions, because they are almost like playing 2 completely different games in one. We'll go ahead and discuss the basic open hand patterns now. The first open pattern we'll discuss are known as value honors, or Yakuhai. If you collect 3 of the same dragon, you'll have a valid Yaku win condition. If you already have a pair of dragons in your hand, then calling PON is one of the easiest ways to achieve a Yaku win condition for a fast victory. Another kind of value honor is the round wind or seat wind. To explain this Yaku, let's take a look at the game board. First, let's discuss games. One game of Mahjong usually consists of 4 rounds where each player is the dealer at least once, and each game is denoted by the name of a wind. The first 4 rounds of a Mahjong game, not including repeats, are known as the East game. The next 4 rounds after that are known as the South game, and each additional wind game is another 4 rounds of Mahjong. Since it's the beginning of the game, that means the first 4 rounds are known as the East 1, East 2, East 3, and East 4 rounds. And because it's the East game, if you collect a triplet of East tiles, then that is a valid hand pattern. If it's a South game, then a triplet of South winds is a valid hand pattern. For the seat wind, you just need to collect 3 of the same tile as your current seat. This rotates every round, so you just have to pay attention to your wind tiles every round and see if it's a valid Yaku. The second type of open pattern are known as simple hands, due to the simplicity and ease of making these hands. Tanyao is a simple hand where you avoid all of the 1s, 9s, and honor tiles to make a hand. The 3 colors straight gives you a Yaku when you collect the exact same 3-digit sequence in all 3 suits for 3 of your melds. For example, the 3, 4, 5 of characters, bamboo, and dots. And speaking of suits, the next type of open hand you can make are flush hands, with the common theme of only focusing on collecting one suit of tiles. If you attempt to make a hand using a combination of one suit and some honor tiles, that will be known as a half flush. If your hand is only one suit and no honor tiles, then it will be a full flush. And if you can make the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9 melds all in one suit, you'll get the full straight flush hand. The last type of basic open hand you can make are known as triplet hands, where you will be rewarded for making as many triplets as possible. If all your melds are a triplet, then you will be awarded the all triplet hand known as Toy Toy. If you make the same triplet in all 3 suits, you'll get the 3-color triplet hand. And if you are fortunate enough to hold 3 triplets in your hand without them being open, you'll be awarded the 3 concealed triplets Yaku. Here are the Han rank values of all the basic open hands. One thing to note is that any hand that can be made open can also be made fully closed if you so desire. Some of the hands, such as the 3-color straight, will reward you with extra Han ranking if you make the hand without taking a call action. The full flush hand is one of the more difficult hands to make, but you will be guaranteed to win a full points Mangan at a minimum if you could make it. Now that we've explained the open hand patterns, we'll go ahead and finish out this game. We've opened our hand by making a Chi, PON, and Kan. Because we have a quad of the green dragon tiles, we qualify for the value on our hand. Although we can't declare Riichi, we made it to Tenpai pretty quickly by opening our hand. All we need is the 8 of characters or the 3 of bamboo to win the hand. Success! We now declare Roan.
Run!
On top of call actions, you can also perform turn actions. These are actions that you can take on your own turn after drawing your tile. You are already familiar with the Riichi and Sumo turn actions, but there are also 2 additional actions you can take on your turn. If you have an open triplet and you have the 4th copy of the tile in your hand, you can perform the Add Kan action to add this tile to your open triplet and upgrade it to a quad. This is treated as a Kan action, so you still perform the appropriate dead wall procedures after declaring this type of Kan. The final turn action is the Closed Kan. If you have all 4 copies of a tile in your hand, you may reveal all 4 tiles in your hand and set it aside like you would an open Kan, and then perform the dead wall procedures. However, this Kan is slightly more special than a normal call. Since this is a turn action and not a call action, this does not count as opening your hand, and you are still considered to be playing a closed hand. This will allow you to perform the Riichi turn action if you so choose. On top of that, if you have already declared Riichi and you draw into the 4th copy of a triplet meld, then you may also declare Kan if it does not change the tiles you need to win the hand. This is the one and only exception to locking your hand after declaring Riichi that allows you to incorporate the drawn tile into your winning hand.
Sumo.
There are situations that can also occur when multiple players may want to perform a call action on the same tile. How do we resolve that situation? Well, if the calls were made at the same time, then PON takes priority over Chi, Kan takes priority over PON, and Roan takes priority over all these calls. To summarize, there are 4 turn actions and 4 call actions that you can take. Use Riichi to lock a Tenpai hand, use Chi to complete a sequence meld from the player on your left, use PON to complete a triplet meld from any player, use Kan to complete a quad from any player, use Add Kan to upgrade one of your open triplets, use Closed Kan to reveal quads from your hand, and use Sumo to declare victory on a drawn tile, and use Roan to steal a winning tile from any player. And if you take any of the Chi, PON, or Kan call actions, you will be required to make an open hand pattern to qualify for victory. Congratulations, we have now successfully learned how to steal tiles properly. And yet, we still haven't reached the end of all there is to learn about Japanese Mahjong. If you have made it this far and are still interested in the game, we will discuss the last few concepts necessary to complete your Mahjong training in the next video. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more videos about everything Mahjong. Thanks for watching.